I grew up in an amazing Christian family and went to church all through school, and I'd heard the gospel so many times. I knew all the memory verses and what the stories represented, but it hadn't penetrated my heart. It didn't change how I lived my life. It was just another extracurricular. I went to tennis, I went to ballet, I went to church. And how do I know that? Because I still had this deep loneliness and dissatisfaction, despite having more than I could possibly need. And when I went to uni and then into a career in finance, suddenly there were all these experiences and opportunities on offer that seemed like they would cure my loneliness, or at least numb it, and give me that love that I craved. And I wouldn't say moderation is my strong suit. So for about 6 years, I didn't just chase after these things, I basically sprinted after them. I put all my energy into my career. I ruined my body with how I treated it and the things that I put in it. And I used the people around me for what they could give me and how they could make me feel. And in early 2019, I remember coming home from a weekend away with work and feeling like after all the energy I'd put into these things that I thought I wanted, I was still so lonely and dissatisfied. And I remember just sitting on the couch at about 5 p.m. and crying and feeling like all I wanted to do was go to a church. And I knew that one of the pastors from my old church was a pastor at a church in Kirribilli, and so I googled churches in Kirribilli, and I drove there about an hour later, and I didn't actually check the time for the services either. I just rocked up at 7 p.m. And he was at the door, and I have no idea what the sermon was on, but I remember realising that Jesus saw all of me, all of my failure and shame, and still loved me so unconditionally and completely that he died for me. And the knowledge and feeling of that love blew my mind, and it redefined me, and it still does. And I know nothing this earth offers will satisfy me the way his love does. And that doesn't mean that it's easy and I never feel lonely or disappointed, but now I can anchor myself back to Christ and his love. And the things that used to throw me off balance for weeks don't faze me as much, because I can give it over to him and I don't need to be in control or be perfect, because he sees me and loves me as I am. And it's almost like I've been given a heart transplant, and the small self-centered heart that I had before has been replaced with this bigger heart that Jesus has filled with his love and made more open and more available to others for me to love others. And that's just a fantastic feeling, and I know now that I'm never alone because I have him.